Hi besties, hi bunnies. Coffee's cold, truth's brewing. Let's hit the road. Just Machado wheeling hand, time to unfold. Early light breaks, coffee chilling in my grip. Hi besties, hi bunnies, join the trip. Cruising mass highway, spilling secrets for hours. 1 to 3 deep, no holds barred, owning our power. Squad's got my back, riding waves through the storm. Besties and bunnies, keeping it warm. Got that wild spark, singing random and free. Keeping the vibe alive, just you and me. Trolls creeping in, haters twisting the feet. Weak shots flying, but they can't plant the seed. Jabbing in my style, my fire, my rise. Obsessed in the shadows, watching with jealous eyes. Drama stirrers calling grift, but facts don't lie. While y'all fume, my lights touching the sky. Reddit ghosts lurking, basement critique so low. Keep throwing shade, watch this bunny glow. Meow, 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 meow. Hey. Meow, 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 feel it now. Bunny. Just Machado show, chasing down the real. Besties and bunnies got that unbreakable seal. Meow, 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 trolls fade away. Truth in the air, lighting up the day. After dark or dawn's first gleam, we claim the throne. Just as rolling, meow, if you're in the zone. Meow. Love to my besties trolls. See a truth awaits. Just Machado show. Buckle up. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Feel it now. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Feel it now. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Feel it now. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Bunnies.
Good morning. Welcome to 24 on 24. Not only ChatGPT, but your mom says this is the absolute best show on the radio, internet, in all of the land. She told me herself. I called her right after your dad left here. Good morning to, I have such a wide demographic of listeners today. Good morning to all of the besties and all of the bunnies. Hands down, you the OGs, you the first ones, you know who you are. Good morning to the people who are hate streaming this. Like, you literally were like, fuck, I'm going to watch Jess Machado today. I hate that cunt. Good morning to you. Good morning to you if you are a slave to any one of those people who they themselves won't watch, but you report back to them. Good morning to you. Good morning to those of you who have found me after the convention this weekend. Unfortunately for you, this is going to be your first show. Good morning to the people who are listening, trying to figure out how to become as awesome/popular as me. You'll figure it out. You'll see. You'll see what we do here. You'll see the risks and the rewards. If Jess addresses me directly, my boyfriend's wife will lose her shit. Damn right. Oh, I didn't realize who that was on that account. Good morning. It's Monday morning. I'm thrilled to be here. Monday mornings are actually my favorite day of the week. I like Saturdays and things like that, but I really love a good Monday morning. As long as I am alive, I get a chance to start and fuck up a whole new week. And that is an addiction that keeps me coming back week after week after week. Good morning. I'm your beguiling host, Jessica Meow Schmeow, also known as Bunny. We have a little bit of an agenda to get to today. Listen, if you don't like politics, you're going to get it today. And I don't know how else to say it to you. We're going to sprinkle in some other things. So whoever is writing down the agenda, Spicy Misty, I don't know if you're here this morning or if you're like fucking elbows deep into the fucking Vine reviews. We're going to talk Mass GOP convention. We're going to talk Kayla Churchill and Boomer Amaral. We are going to talk Aiden Carney and Nikki haircuts. We are going to talk my children. And that's it. Oh, and Sue O'Connell. essentially the woman who created the lesbians we love category for me on the Horizon social chart. Horizon social chart needs to be motherfucking revisited again. So did somebody write that down? Thank you, because I didn't. I want to start off by saying this, separate from Mass GOP or anything like that. I have political friends that I met through politics at the state level, and one in particular who I became very fond of over the past couple of years. And he and I would speak pretty much daily on the phone and text more frequently. And when the short sleeve and Keneally campaigns were birthed, this person picked the short sleeve campaign and I picked the Keneally campaign. And we never said anything to each other. We just stopped talking to each other. It was almost instant, and it was not, I knew it wasn't bad. I knew it wasn't like I have to call him. I knew exactly what was happening. And now that my candidate isn't in it, we have reconnected and said there's certainly a way that things happen during politics. We don't lose friends over it. And it was almost like Lent. Like I gave him up for Lent. And he has risen. We are back talking just like we used to. And it's just funny how that worked out. Not worked out. I knew it was going to be that way, but like, it's just like, here we are Monday morning. Let's get back at it. And so I'm actually so happy to like have this back because he's so knowledgeable. But I have spent the weekend actually connecting with many people. Some I've continued to speak with, but we had a lot of things to talk about the convention. So anyway, good morning to my friend who always listened, but now we have reconnected again post-mortem. All right, so let's start off with the convention stuff because I don't want to end on that. I got some complaints for some people. I did a Facebook Live yesterday, and I didn't share it on X or YouTube because I thought it was very niche, and I always knew we could talk about it this morning. As you know, Saturday was the Massachusetts GOP convention at the DCU Center in Worcester. Shout out to the, like, first of all, I met so many people for the first time. So many followers, besties, and bunnies who were delegates. And it was such a wonderful part of the day to connect with people. As the chairwoman of the Somerset Republican Town Committee, I know I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but listen, the only way I can explain this is 4 years ago when we had this convention, I was a Republican town committee member elected at the ballot. And the committee had two people. They did not do their due diligence. They didn't offer me a seat at the delegation on purpose. They iced me out. They broke the law. They broke the rules. They kept everybody out. Two people went from Somerset, even though there were clearly many Republicans that should have gone. And I had a massive fucking chip on my shoulder about that. And that was the real motivation behind organizing and getting this group together, which was to make it accessible to any and every Republican who wanted to go. Something that was not afforded to me the last time around. I hate rule breakers. I hate fucking people that fucking do shit like this. There's a whole litany of them that just, it's not just exclusive to Somerset. And it is the way that things go in politics, and I was not going to allow it. And so the path to get to this was so fucking long. 4 years. 4 years. Some of you have been in relationships and marriages less than that. 4 years, I put a plan in place, and I worked for 4 years to get to that. Okay? Never did I expect that it was going to be as bad as it was. I am so disappointed in the Mass GOP for a list of reasons that I'm not going to get too technical about. We're going to do a separate live going into all the details about this. It deserves it. It deserves its own motherfucking show. 2 hours straight talk about exactly what went on, what I observed, what I've heard from people since we've left, and what's going to happen next. It will be discussed. At least memorialized, so they don't get a fucking free pass for the disaster that took place. I knew things were already strange when I sent an email to Haley Jones, and I will name you all. I sent an email to Haley Jones, and I said, as you know, I'm a delegate, but I'm also coming as a member of press. Could you please let me know what I need to know about press credentials and getting in? After not hearing from her, she CC'd an email, and she said, I'm patching in Vincent. He is our press coordinator. I said, great, thank you so much. Never heard from Vincent. I messaged back again, and I said, circling back on this, never heard from Haley, never heard from Vincent. Circled back again, never heard from Haley, never heard from Vincent. I was never given the Wi-Fi password, where to go, none of those things. And if Haley, if you're in that deep with Manugg, and you thought that not adding me to the press list was going to keep me out of there, y'all didn't do your homework, because you knew I was going to figure out a way to get there anyway. And I know you are. And the people who, whatever, the people who were running the convention should have nothing to do with any of the campaigns. That's the way it should be. I did a 24 on 24 on the way home, and I talked about it. If you watched any of my live streams from the convention, I spoke about it. It was unbelievably disorganized. It was a disaster. And to be quite frank with you, I believe all by design. After the fact, thinking, reflecting, talking, asking some questions, shooting some texts, I believe it was all by design, because Brian Shortsleeve barely made the ballot, okay? And Mike Keneally did not make the ballot. They needed a bare minimum of 15% of the votes to get on the ballot. Mike Manugg could certainly afford to lose people, because he had a lot of people. The people that I have spoken to specifically who have left were not voting for Mike Manugg. And Mike Manugg had such a large group of people voting for him that it would not impact him in any way if there were significant delays to the voting. The whole process was supposed to be done by 4:30 p.m. And by 4 p.m., we didn't even have a tally of the votes for lieutenant governor, let alone governor. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what was the decision behind this, but if it were me and my team, I would be suing the Mass GOP if I were Mike Keneally. If you cannot get the vote in the allotted time, then there is a disadvantage to every candidate by people leaving. The number I've heard, I've got to get the specifics on it, but it sounds to me somewhere between 400 and 600 people left the convention. So they had a certain number of delegates check in, and by the time we voted for governor, between 400 and 600 people had left, because it was taking hours longer than it was supposed to. We didn't leave there until 8:45. And if you've got all the votes, it doesn't matter for you. Shoot, I don't have my other debit card. Hi, Derek. Can I do a large iced white chocolate pistachio? Made with whole milk. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Copied me. How I said thank you. Thank you. I might have to. This isn't being poor. One of these debit cards has like my spending money on it, and the other debit card is with Jeff, so I might have to transfer the money to this one. I don't know. I can't remember. They're both blue. So I should get different colors so I can distinguish between the two. I spoke with another insider who had been to 7 conventions. So 28 years worth of conventions. And they said they have never seen the things that they saw at this convention. Oh, perfect, Ben Rosa. Thank you so much. So we lost 535 people who left throughout the day because of what I believe was very specifically designed to look like accident, distractions, and delays. And so speaking with someone who's been to 7 conventions, the things that they saw there that they've never seen before. So first things first, let's talk about how the fix was in. For every convention, the night before, after the stage is set and everything is done by the Mass GOP, they allow the candidates and teams to go in and decorate. You can bring in what you want. You can put signs on the wall. What's up? How was your weekend?
I worked.
Did you do anything other than work?
I don't know, actually. Well, yeah, I got yesterday afternoon off, so today's a straw day.
Yes, I think today's a straw day. Thank you, Derek. Have a great Monday. Bye. So you're like, you guys figure this out. So this person has been to 7. I trusted source has been to 7 events. So the night before Friday, you're allowed around 5 or 6 p.m. to go in and you can start decorating. Your volunteers show up and they start putting signs around, the entryways and all the stuff like that. This year, the only year, they opened it up at 10 a.m. that day, 10 a.m. on Friday. And what happened at 10 a.m.? The Manugg team paid paid staffers to come in and start decorating and going crazy. Now, listen, it's not the money. If you've got the money and you've got more people, that's an advantage your candidate has. That's it. But what this person is saying is, we have never allowed it in at 10 a.m. ever in 28 years. And this one time, to accommodate the Manugg paid staffers, they were allowed in at 10 o'clock. The place was covered in Manugg shit. Covered. Now, because of who I am as a person, I'm not jealous of people with money. And I can appreciate when people come with the cash. By paying these staffers is created an environment unlike anything they've ever seen at the convention before. They had 2 staffers with these hard hats on and work vests overseeing all of the voting that was taking place with clipboards and laptops. And they would look over the shoulder of the person collecting the votes. And this is my own firsthand experience. I watched this happen. And mark on their laptop what was being voted, the names and who they voted for. And it is very clear that this is supposed to be a private vote. Now, I'm hearing from people that it is very often not private. It's kind of just like this. You go up and you vote. But to have staffers who are allowed to observe, but over the shoulder of the person collecting votes was intimidating to the voter. There were pushing and physical things happening that another person said they have never seen that kind of environment before. They created just this crazy environment. One person was there, a staffer. Now, listen, everybody there for these other campaigns, they're also delegates, right? There's nobody who's working for the Keneally campaign or the short sleeve campaign. That's also not a delegate, right? But for the Manugg people, they weren't voting because they're not even from Massachusetts. They hired a firm from DC to come in and run this election, and they're not even from here. So it just felt like outsiders. Now, one could say that's exactly what you need to take on Maura Healey, right? But with that being said, I just don't know how. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it. We'll save it for the political show, which we're going to have. I'm sad and disappointed about how badly it was run. I'm sad and disappointed about all of it. Not because my candidate lost. Let's clear up some bullshit rumors that some weirdos on the internet are making up. Number one, I met or spoke with every candidate. Mike Keneally, Brian Shortsleeve, and I met with them in face to face. And I also spoke on the phone with Mike Manugg personally. All three of those people asked me for their support. I had no reason to pick Mike Keneally. Quite frankly, I should have picked Brian Shortsleeve based on my friend group. Again, I had friends that were going with Brian, and I went away from that. I chose who I thought was the best candidate to beat Maura Healey in the general election. I didn't say I liked everything about my candidate. I didn't say I didn't like things about Brian or Mike Manugg. I picked the candidate that I thought if was going head to head with Maura Healey, that is who could win. That I was steadfast on that, and I never changed. Second, I was not paid at all to be a op for the Keneally campaign. Brian Shortsleeve and Mike Keneally both, before Mike Manugg entered the race, advertised on my show when I first started a very simple picture of their logo, the both of them. That was $50 a week for 6 weeks. So the total dollar amount you'll find if you ever look at their campaign finance was $300 from each candidate. And it was before I ever made a decision in who I was going to be supporting. So there's that. I never took a cent ever from anybody in the Keneally campaign, nor when we met was there ever the promise of a staffing position with the campaign or at the State House. There was never a discussion about a job. Nobody ever offered me anything. I wouldn't take it. I'm 50 years old and they can't afford me. So Boomer Amaral, my state committee man, who did not show up and I criticized for not showing up, took to his Facebook page yesterday and said, your candidate lost and now you're not getting a job. And so now you're being critical of me. Well, you can't prove that because it didn't exist, but I can prove that you didn't fucking show up and you didn't organize anybody to go to the fucking convention. I have proof of that. But you want to go out and lie about me, and that's not going to end well for you at all. Wait, do you hear that? Oh, it's the sound of me opening up the motherfucking arsenal I have on you, Boomer. And I am telling you right now, you better fucking take that back. Write a retraction. Say you're lying. Say you were mad and you didn't know what you were doing. But you better fucking take it down that I'm pissed off that I didn't get a paid job because there was never an offer and I was never taking a job. You can't go around and lie about me. You can't go around and open your mouth and spew lies and expect me to sit back and take it. You would have been better served calling me fat. Because I can't say shit about that because I am. But I can get in your fucking face for saying that I'm bitter and angry because I didn't get a job. That never existed. You're also a liar. You said, oh, I'm always available. I called your fucking ass yesterday morning to talk to you, and you didn't take my fucking call. You're a liar. You're running for office. And I normally will not go after Republicans running for office, but I will this time. I will this time. Because you know what? There's another Republican running for the same seat you're running for. So we still have another option. You're not the option anymore. You think I was going to be a paid op for the Keneally campaign? No. I'm going to be an op against you now because you fucking lied about me. And I hate people who aren't loyal. I had your back. I fucking made excuses for you. I took you back into the fucking fold and helped you when you were running for mayor. Even though you let us down as our state committee man time and motherfucking time again. For years, all I've heard from you is, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I'm busy. Oh, I can't. You have done fucking shit as state committee man. And I fucking ignored it for your benefit to help you. And what happens when I call you out on failing us again? You want to fucking lie about me? Worst mistake you ever fucking made. Worst. Because you know what, Boomer? Do you remember what I know about you? Do you remember I know what happened when the police were called to your fucking house for that altercation with your ex-wife? Remember I got the police report? Remember nobody fucking talked about what really happened? Remember you fucking headbutted people there and the police fucking covered it up? Yeah, I don't. You want to lie about me? I will not allow it. We'll start with that. How's that? If you had done your job as a state committee man to prepare everybody in your district to go to the convention, and you had come to the convention, there would be no reason for me to criticize you. No reason. I'll even take it further. If you had done everything you could to organize all the delegates and then didn't show up and called the Mass GOP and said, listen, I know I'm not going to be there. I want to give you guys a heads up so you have a plan in place for me not being there so that my district is covered. I would have never said a fucking bad word about you. Ever. But you know what's funny? Seems everybody knew that you weren't going to the convention, Boomer, except the Mass GOP. Except the people you should have informed and told them that you weren't going. So that we weren't scrambling for somebody to fucking take our votes. You can't pick up the phone. You can't send an email. You couldn't call them up and be like, I'm not going to be there. Can you put somebody in as a proxy for me? You didn't. You fucking left us high and fucking dry. There was literally a time frame where we weren't even sure. I spoke with Representative Thurber. We weren't even sure we were going to get to fucking votes. You fucking prick. I put together a delegation of 17 motherfucking people to get there. They paid $200 each to get there, and because of your fucking loser ass, they weren't going to get to vote, you piece of shit? Can you imagine? You're done. Resign now. You don't care about the party. You don't care about the people down here. You don't do anything. You haven't done shit, dude. Shit. You're supposed to be my leader. I'm supposed to come to you for help. We did it all on our own. We've done everything on our own. You don't know shit. You don't know the rules. You don't pay attention. You do shit. I'm so fucking tired of it. And I fucking finally said something, and then you want to lie about me? Dude, I will fucking fight you. Face to face. I will punch you in the face. Don't fucking lie about me. I never had a job. I was never promised a job. I know that's a crazy concept for fucking people like you, but believe it or not, I fucking fought for Mike Keneally because I thought he was the best chance to fucking turn the state around. I had no political motives. I had no ulterior motives. Unlike you. You fucking loser. I'm fucking done with your shit. Never fucking lie about me. You want to call me fat? You want to call me an antagonist? You want to say I use bad words on the internet? I don't fucking care. I can't say shit about that. But nothing pissed me the fuck off more than reading your batshit crazy fucking statement about why you couldn't be there because of my son and I'm all he has. Shut the fuck up. Everybody there has obligations and family. Everybody. Family over the party, family over marriage. Dude! Then make the call. Tell them you're not going to be there. Make sure your people are okay. And then you got Kayla Churchill out there. She's basically saying, I hate the fucking party. And I'm fucking didn't go because I hate the fucking party. Then why are you a part of the party? If you hate it, why are you here? Leave. Leave. So instead of using your power as a state committee woman and organizing RTCs and going and meeting with them and convincing them why what you think about the party is right, which, by the way, Kayla has a couple of things she said about the party that I actually agree with. Instead of doing that, you just don't do anything. The worst part about all of this is Bristol County is the reddest county in the whole state of Massachusetts. And we have nobody leading our party down here. Nobody. That's fine. I'll do it. It's fine. Kayla Churchill said, I'm slandering her or running my mouth against her. Bitch, you put a fucking video about me and I lost my fucking studio over it. And now I say you didn't show up for the fucking convention and now I'm shit talking you? What are you talking about? And then she's like, I want to debate you. I'll debate you, bitch, when I run against you. Listen, here's my problem I have right now. I've got two people who are in charge of this area for the Republican Party, and they aren't doers. They don't have goals, they don't have plans, and they accomplish nothing. And that is the exact opposite way of how I run shit. We have goals, we have plans, and we execute them. I like collecting accomplishments for the party. I like collecting accomplishments for myself. I like electing people and winning. You can't win them all. We can't win every election. But we will try every time. And your odds go up of winning if you at least try. I shouldn't be the hardest working Republican in my district. I shouldn't be. We're supposed to have people above me that work harder to influence and get others to do what I do. They don't care. And every day you're not working towards the goals that I have, right, for a bigger district. Every day you're not doing that. There's two things that can happen. One, people get apathy and they just get tired and they're not inspired, so they don't get involved. And two, the Democrats can slide in and take a hold back again. And I'm not joking when I say that causes me so much anxiety. As look at this fucking. What is it? Okay, just be careful. What are you doing? Okay. Alrighty. This fucking bitch got out of her car and walked right in front of my car. I had to slam on my brakes. And she looks at me like I'm the problem. Like, came out of nowhere. It's fine. I won't hit you today. And then she's like yelling at me. And she's going, have a good day, ma'am. Actually just got a little scared because I didn't see her. It was scary. And we're on Main. Oh, by the way, and she's an Amazon driver, so there's that for you. Oh, all the boys are here fishing. It's time. Anybody catch anything? Not yet. 'Tis the season. That's it. I'm going home and getting my rod. These people got a whole ass fucking table set up. Coolers. This is interesting. I usually don't see people like this. Their cars are on the grass, which we're allowed to do. I usually do that too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rods out. That's it. I'm gonna go get my shit. It's a little cold out here today for this. Oh, I just realized one of these people is in a wheelchair. That's nice. Oh, that explains that van. Okay, got it. Oh. 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 I would turn the camera, but he's too far away to see. He lost it. Oh man. The lady I just talked to, she ran all the way down there to go see. Oh, he's with her. You're not supposed to be on that deck, and it says private property, but I think he was trying to reel it in. That's why I was over there. Listen, I'm mad because it's excuse central from Kayla and Boomer. Excuses, 1,000 excuses. I just don't listen. You can make excuses later, but show up, do the work, do what you're supposed to do. Look at your responsibilities as a state committee man and woman, and at least do some of them, any of them. But you didn't do anything. And in an area where the majority of the people down here are voting red, it's a bad look, and I get sad and worried. I feel anxious, and I talk about this with Jeff all the time. Like, I feel like if I'm not working for Republicans, I feel like if I'm not actively doing something, that like nobody else will be doing anything. And I also feel that when nobody's working, then the Democrats will have a chance to come in and convince people, find a really good squeaky clean candidate, and then people who were voting red were like, well, you know what? I'm going to give this guy a shot because there's nobody else on the other side. So I get so stressed out and upset, and I am so worried about Massachusetts that, like, this, it's very important to me. And I don't love the system, and I don't love the Mass GOP the way that I used to. I've learned too much, and I am disenfranchised. But this is the system that we have. And unless it's going to change, I have to abide by it. You know, I spoke with several people. We have to make changes within the Mass GOP. For example, if you have two state committee men and women like Boomer and Kayla, and they're not fulfilling their obligations, there must be bylaws where they can be removed. And there currently are none. There are none. I think they have to be charged with a felony in order to be removed. And that protection is in place so that just because you don't like somebody, you just can't get rid of them. But you can't not do your job and essentially leave your district homeless. And it's so bad, so bad. I actually even believe that if we had like high functioning state committee man and woman, like if for every district what we did in Somerset, I think we could have sent a full delegation. I wasn't going to stop until we sent a full delegation. I was, you know, calling people. I was making sure, like, it was a lot of fucking work. And I feel like because now I have the job I have the ability and the flexibility to do it. I think I could have done it, or at least come close. But can you imagine if, like, the next time we have a convention in 4 years, we have a different set of leaders down here, and Bristol County, which is red, sends a full delegation for every city and town in its district. Boomer Amaral is from Fall River, and they didn't have one delegate. He lives in Fall River as a Republican. More than 50% of the people in Fall River voted for Trump, and he did not organize one delegate to go to the convention. That is blasphemy. Blasphemy. And I'm upset about it, and it has nothing to do with Mike Keneally not winning. Because I'm going to tell you what, I can very confidently pivot from Mike Keneally to Brian Shortsleeve, because neither one of them are Mike Manugg. It is not like it is just Mike Manugg. We have another option now, and that's Brian. And I hope people understand, like, yes, when you work for a candidate and there's a loss, yes, when there's circumstances like this where you miss by just a couple votes and then you had a bunch of people leave, like, it's sad. And, you know, one of my besties, you know, who worked very, very hard full-time for the Keneally campaign, paid, you know, I got a message from him the night of the loss, and it made me so sad for him. But, you know, you lose. It sucks. You know, it's terrible. However, I didn't get, like, upset. I was happy that at least Brian made it. And so now we have another chance. That's how I looked at it. So there's no, like, you know, devastation. There's some shock, but I wouldn't say devastation. Like, it's okay. We're going to be okay. You know, there's got to be a conversation about Mike Manugg, and now it's very different. This is a different conversation we have to have about, I'm going to share a video today. So listen, you're not supposed to attack other Republicans. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to talk about your Republican, right? Your Republican. And I did that. I talked a lot about Mike Keneally and why I liked him. And I had a couple of statements I made about Mike Manugg and blah, 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 blah. But now things are very different. Now this is going to be the person that's going to go up against Maura Healey. So now we must talk about Mike Manugg. I'm going to share a video today. You're going to die. they released a video right after the convention win, and it is like a montage of like him getting called up or whatever. This is the last part of the convention I'm going to talk about, and then we're going to move on. So Mike Manugg gave his speech, and he was like, my husband said, and it makes sense. My husband said it was like what's that movie or that documentary about Pfizer where they used to throw these parties for all the drug reps and shit like that? I don't know the name of it. I saw it about like Oxy and stuff like that, right? Jay Walsh has seen the video. I don't know what it is, but Jeff said that everything about Mike Minogue's speech and everything that was happening, it reminded him of the parties that the drug companies used to throw. And I guess the night before, they each had their own parties, and somebody showed my husband a video, and he said it was the same thing. Dope sick. He said it was the same thing. It was just like this crazy, weird, over-the-top, expensive vibe. He's like, that's what the party looked like. And Jeff knows about what's going on, but like not enough. So his observations are like very interesting to me. And he's like, it came off as just like, drug reps and like drug CEOs. And he was the owner of a company called a Biomed that made tiny little heart pumps. And they sold that company to Johnson & Johnson, which my husband hates Johnson & Johnson because of the vax situation. So anyway, Mike Manugg gives his speech, and at the end, he goes, I'm going to end on 3 questions. And he asks the first question, and I don't remember what it is. Hold on. Hi. I'm live, just no photos, but audio. You're going home? Where are we going for this? Okay, great. What time do you want to reconvene? I don't have to pick up Georgia today. She's going driving after school with Jason, so I have a little bit of work to do. Well, I don't even think places are open now. Do you have a list of places to at least look? Yeah, I need a place to go look for veils. 11 o'clock? Fine. Okay. All right, go to the gym and then call me when you're home. You want me to pick you up? Okay. Bye. David's bridal. Julia slept over last night because Aiden is away. We have to go pick up a veil today. Go pick out a veil. My dress is coming today. I'm very excited about that. We'll talk that too. Also, I'll tell you, David's bridal is closed. Why? Now, just because of time, or now, like what? Alexandria's for a veil. All right. So let me go back to this one thing. So he says, I want to just end on 3 questions. I want to end on 3 questions. So he goes, the first, and he's walking around the stage. All the other candidates stayed at the podium. This guy walks around the stage. The cameras follow him around. So he says, I've got 3 questions for you. He goes, here's my first question. And then he goes, here's my second question. And then he goes, in my last question. And as he goes to say the question, he like croaks. And he like goes to say something and he can't. And he goes to take the water, sip of water, and everybody's clapping for him to give him a minute. And he tries to say it again, and everybody's clapping, rallying him on, like, oh, it's all right, take your time or whatever. And instead of asking the question, he goes, that's it, thank you. And he steps off the stage. And I went, what the fuck was that? And at the end, after he wins, the whole family comes on stage, and Jeffrey takes an issue with the family. He said they look too polished. They're not relatable. I tried to say you can't you can't judge people on their looks. You know, they are wealthy, that you're looking at wealth. Okay. Like you're looking at the best clothing, the best hair, the best makeup. You're looking at wealth and you can't judge them. And, you know, I stood by that with Jeff. I'll talk about at another time about like the relatability of his wife to the Massachusetts voter. But for now, let's talk about what happened on stage. So they get on stage to accept the nomination from the Mass GOP, and they give the microphone to their youngest son, who takes the microphone, and he says, a lot of people have been asking me, what was the third question? And he said, that third question is, are you ready for a new kind of governor? And that is their slogan. Are you ready for a new kind of governor? And instantly, when I heard that, I said, oh, he fucking pretended that he couldn't talk. And they listen, they knew they were going to win. And they had the kid come on the stage, and this was planned. When that happened, okay, before I saw the video of it, from my seat, I thought, oh, that was planned. That's good, right? That's good. And Jeff's like, oh, you think it was planned? And I was like, yeah, I definitely think that he could definitely speak. And it was like the way they were going to end it was have the kid come and kind of close the deal, seal the deal. And are you ready for a new kind of governor? And it's the kid. And it was like really well done or whatever. And I was like, I'm giving him points in my head. And I'm like, yes. So later on yesterday, it was great. It was. And until you see what I saw. So they release a video, and it's the kid on the stage. And to their detriment, they could have done a better job of hiding this, but they didn't. The kid's on the stage, and it's him saying this exact thing. And the wife is standing on the side of him, and she's mouthing the words, are you ready for a new kind of governor, leaning into the kid so he doesn't fuck it up. It is the craziest shit I have ever seen in my life. It was not like, here, I'm going to like just stand here. It was this kid holding a microphone, sealing the deal on their plan at the end. And there is this like Life of Mormon Wives woman standing on the side, leaning in, and she's like, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Under her breath. How old's the kid? 12? Like, he's not like 7. And I can't unsee it. And can I share it? Hold on. I think I can get it. I can get it. Hold on, I can get it, and I can play it for you. On my phone. Jessica, you're amazing. It's coming. Stand by. Like, is the kid like, I just, listen, from my seat, I couldn't see that. And if they had done a different video, we would have never seen that. But we saw it. And I was like, oh my God, here, let's put it on the screen.
Final question was, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my dad, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my And the final question was, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my dad, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my
What's happening in this video?
The final question was, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my dad, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my And the final question was, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my dad, are you ready for a new kind of governor? Like my
I can't stop. I watched it on loop like 150 times. I was like, what is this? Uh, that's not the reason to not vote for Mike Manugg. There's an actual like data-driven reason to not vote for Mike Manugg, but that was, I will not criticize how they looked. I will not criticize the way that the family was acting. I will not criticize their wealth at all. If we all had money, there would be signs. So I'm not criticizing them at all. But anyway, that's enough politics. Let's move on. Sue O'Connell decided to come at me yesterday, and I don't know why. Just a little context. I worked with Sue for trial 1 and trial 2, and I liked Sue. I thought of all of the mainstream media people there, Sue was the first one to kind of like accept me as an independent unknown in the press box. And I've told the story, but when I first met Sue, I was live tweeting from inside the courtroom, and she was not. And she was like taking notes, and she asked me what I was doing, and I showed her and explained to her. And full transparency. Oh no, there is a. Oh no, give it up. Let it go. Oh, there is like a falcon, and he's got a baby bird, and it's crying, and the mother is chasing it. Oh, hate to see it. And so, like, I think everybody should know at this point, the reason I started going to trials and court hearings was because Grant Smith Ellis was tweeting from Aiden's hearings, and he was tweeting bullshit, and it wasn't what was really happening. And so I had never done it before. I showed up to one of Aiden's, and I was just learning how to live tweet on an old fucking dinosaur of a computer that weighed 100 pounds, just to counteract what was being done by Grant, which was not accurate. Wasn't even accurate reporting. And so if I have to give Grant any credit, he kind of started the whole live tweeting from court thing. And that's how I started. But nobody else was doing that. And Sue wasn't doing it. And then Sue started doing it. And then when I was in the press box and I had court documents one day before anybody else from mainstream media had them, she asked me where I got them. And I said, well, they're getting uploaded to this Karen Reed Facebook page. And I sent it to her, and she goes, well, I don't think we can use that as a source. But they all looked at it, and they all were like, didn't even know there were new filings. They didn't even know there were new filings in these cases. Like there's got to be something to be said for what was happening at the time of the Karen Reed case in Massachusetts when it came to like reporting, but like it was very new, at least from my perspective. And so I just remember like showing Sue those things, and then Sue was just nice to me or whatever. And then over the 2 trials, I got to know more about Sue. I know about her family. I know about a lot of things. And I just considered her to be a very nice person. I can separate personal from business, and business wise, Sue works for NBC, and I hate mainstream media. I hate NBC, and she works for them and I don't. And so professionally, I can be hypercritical of what Sue does because Sue doesn't have any control over what she does. Sue works for the man. Sue didn't want to do TikToks during the Karen Reed trial, but her bosses told her to do TikToks. So as a 50-year-old woman, she's got to go and record these TikTokies and uploading them because that's what the man is telling her to do. And I know money is a part of this. because there were conversations about that. And is there enough of money out here in the independent journalist world to make a go of it and make a living off of it? And, back then my Substack was doing really well because I was writing on it a lot. And so I had a steady stream coming from, not a lot, nothing like YouTube, but I say all the time, Sue could go independent on her own. People would follow her. She could do what Aiden does, just independent, and not have to deal with what they tell her. But perhaps she needs the financial security. Perhaps she doesn't want to. Perhaps she likes the NBC attached to her name. I don't really know. But for Sue to call me out and say like, oh, now would be a great time for you to disclose that you were there as a chair and as a supporter of a candidate. I've never not said that. And I wondered why Sue came at me for that, or you've got to be kidding me, Sue, that you don't know that I was a Keneally supporter or whatever. So to me, Sue of all people knew those things were true. She just chose to highlight it in a way that made me look bad. I don't appreciate that very much. Taking a look at Sue's page, she got, at the time of when I looked at it last night, she had like 57,000 views on that post. That is like more than all of the views she got combined for like the whole month on a post of her own original posting, right? Like she got the serious views on that. And I'm happy to give her those pity views. I'm happy. And by the way, I love like all of the people coming and defending me. Some people who don't even like me were defending me. But she got the views, she got the engagement. She then went and put up another post about it, about like, it says, change your bio, just change your bio. And I'm like, fine, Sue, you win. I'm going to change my bio just for you. And I changed it to say, what did it say? It says, forced by legacy media to disclose that my award-winning independent journalism has a free-thinking popular woman behind it. I changed it for you, Sue. I changed it. She also has a real hang up with Mass Daily News, being anonymous and not disclosing who they are. She says it lends to credibility, forcing them to come out, telling them they have to say who they are. Nobody should take them seriously. Well, that's because they're getting the views. That's because they have a website now and they're pushing out stories. Sue is an op for mainstream media where she's been tasked with discrediting all of the independent journalists out there on behalf of her master. And so that is also sad. I'm sorry you have to do that, Sue. I'm sorry. I feel bad. Like, I'm sorry for you. I don't know. Unfortunately for Sue, she has no jurisdiction over me, no jurisdiction over Mass Daily News, Jock Gately, Mike Urban, none of those people. So Sue's going to sue and Sue's going to be upset. We're going to keep her in the lesbians we love category because we do. Let me tell you a quick story. During Karen Read trial 1, there was a woman who worked for NBC in New York, and she came down, not the whole trials, but towards the end. Her name is Marianne Flaherty, I believe her name is, from NBC Dateline in New York. She works in New York. And the other lady that was in the courtroom from Dateline was the lady with the blonde hair and the glasses. I think her name is Sue as well. I worked with her on both of them as well. And Marianne came down and we would sit on the side of each other and we all just would talk. We had a lot of downtime, especially at the end when we were waiting during deliberations in 1 and 2. And I listened to this woman and the other woman from Dateline talk with such hatred about President Trump. This was before the election, obviously, in 2024, because 2023. Such hatred for Trump and such adulation for Joe Biden. And, that doesn't upset me, but these are people that work for NBC that have political feelings, and that's it. And they work for a company that aligns with their feelings and how they feel about politicians. I would not work for NBC, right? She would never go work for Fox. So for Sue to act as if, you know, I'm the bad person for having a political slant is upsetting, because we're not stupid, Sue. At least I'm honest. At least I'm honest about it. You hide it, or you try to hide it. You know what I mean? It's just weird. She put up another post. She tried to get again. We gave Sue the views. No more. No more views for Sue. She got enough from us. We do not need to give her more, okay? Please. That's enough. All right, so that's Sue. What else? I'm so mad at Boomer. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at Boomer for what he said. It's just not true. I can't get over. I don't know how to reconcile that. Like, I guess after I'm done here, I'll purge it and it'll be done, and I don't have anything to say anymore about it. But I'm so mad. I know that's how it works in every administration. You support a candidate and, you do your job, and then they've got to fill roles and you get jobs, and that's how it works. And when the administration leaves, you lose your job and whatever. I'm just so happy with my job. Like, I would never even look for a job. The fact that Boomer said it with such confidence and it's not true is upsetting to me. He said that I was angry he didn't attend the event because my candidate lost, and I'm not getting a job at the State House. What about you guys makes you think that I would want to get in a car and drive to the State House every day at 50 years old? Like, no, I do not want a job. I love my job. I'm finally working a job that I love. And by the way, you're only as good as the administration. So if your candidate doesn't get elected again, you're out of a job in 4 years. I'm good. I love my job. I just want everybody to know, just this, so we're clear. If there was a job out there I wanted somewhere, whether it's in the private or public sector, I could get it. I could get it. I've never not gotten a job that I wanted. Every single job I've ever wanted, I've achieved. I don't fail. I keep fighting until I get what I want, and that's it. So it's the job that I'm in right now is the job I want. So thank you, but no thank you, but please don't lie about me. So there's that. Okay, so yesterday, I went on Burn Barrel podcast. That's Tom and Alice Shattuck. I have been on their podcast before, a while ago, actually, a long time ago. I'm not even sure I had my show the last time I was on their show. But Alice, well, they're conservatives in Massachusetts. Tom is now working for the Maine Wire. He's with Steve Robinson, formerly of the Howie Carr Show. He has the Maine Wire. If you're not following Maine Wire, you should. I know Maine is not part of Massachusetts, but what Maine Wire is doing to expose fraud and all of the things that are going wrong in Maine is great, and it's great to watch. John Featherston, who I met when he was running to be Mass GOP chair. And John and I worked on the migrant crisis together, and my investigations and my stories on that. John was a whistleblower who was running one of the Healy hotels that bravely came forward and started talking about what was going on there behind closed doors. And he was a wonderful source of information for me as I was investigating what was going on at the Taunton Hotel. So John and I have known each other for several years. We used to talk every day. And And now John Featherston works for Main Wire. And Tom Shattuck also works for Main Wire as well. But they still do their podcast, Burn Barrel Podcast. If you don't listen or you haven't listened, go back and listen to the one from yesterday. I joined them for about a half hour to talk about the convention. Not enough time. We probably could have talked a little bit longer about it. Alice was there. And so we kind of chatted about it. So please go and give them a listen and a view. They are great, and it's very enjoyable. So around that time, so yesterday was Sunday, and it was supposed to be like a Sunday reset day. I would normally not work on a Sunday, but because they asked, I made an exception. While I was getting ready to get on the podcast, I was up in my office and I was online looking at things, and I saw this interaction between Nick Rocco and Aiden. And, you know, Nick Rocco making a comment about Aiden buying a house and Karen having to live at home and blah, 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 blah. And I got so frustrated with that statement that Nick put up about Aiden buying a house and Karen having nothing. And I know my friend pretty well. I knew that that was upsetting him, because coming from Nick, I don't know. So as soon as I was done with the podcast, I called Aiden and I was like, do not fucking let that guy get under your skin about you buying a fucking house. Don't. Karen Reed is exactly where she is because of her own choices and what she wants to do. And I look at this objectively, and I understand who Aiden is and what he does. I understand everything about this relationship and all this stuff like that. I'm just going to say this. In my opinion, none of what has happened between Karen and Aiden would ever have happened had Karen been exonerated and sat down for a 2-hour interview with Aiden Carney. Her going to Howie Carr and doing a stupid ass 15-minute appearance video, her going and doing that fucking mango thing or whatever, I am telling you right now, it is a very obvious slap in the face to the man who did everything for you to not go on his show and give him the interview. It was embarrassing. It was unnecessary. And I don't know who advised her on that or if it was her decision, but it was very telling. And if she had done that one day or 2 days after her being acquitted, none of this shit would have happened. None of the recording shit, none of this would have happened. It is all on Karen. I'm going to tell you something. If Aiden Carney was good enough to go to jail for you, he's good enough for a fucking interview. Close it up. Tie it up. End it on a high note. Don't disrespect him. No matter how you feel. Listen, maybe in her mind, she thinks, thank God I'm fucking done with him. He's a scumbag. Nothing you had would have been possible without him. It doesn't matter. You have to finish it. And it changed everything. Why couldn't you just suck it up and do the 2-hour interview? Who the fuck cares? Nick Rocco was a mouthpiece for Karen. He didn't fucking raise money for Karen. He put up the links or whatever? Where'd the money come from? From the people that Aiden organized and rallied. Those are his followers, his supporters, the group of people he built. So all you were was like a vessel, Nick, to gather the money or whatever. But these are the people that he cultivated through risk, through relentless reporting, through day-to-day living and breathing this case. Of course, nobody believes that Aiden Carney is as afflicted as Karen Reed is. Of course he wasn't accused of murder. But motherfucker did 60 days longer in jail than Karen Reed did. How can you not seal the deal? How can you not finish this up? How can you not give him the interview to finish it, save face for everybody, and then go and part ways? It was so selfish of Karen to not give him a fucking interview and then to let that whole thing go with Howie Carr, to go over there and you couldn't believe it. And then it was like, there's no way. Then it ruined the relationship he had with Howie Carr. And fuck Howie Carr, okay? Fuck Howie Carr. Fuck Kathy Carr, because I said this from the get. I had these people clocked from day fucking one. You go back and look at those. I'll pull it up right the fuck now. His coverage of Karen Reed was on the back of Aiden Carney. And when I worked for Howie Carr, they would never let me talk about Aiden Carney on air. Kathy Carr specifically told me not to mention Turtle Boy on air. We don't want you talking about him or any stories, nothing. And then what? He became the premier reporter for the Karen Reed trials, and they want clicks and views. And what did they do? Call him up and have him go on the fucking show. And then what happens? Their views go through the fucking roof. The guy that you were fucking snubbing and turning your nose down. And I didn't know Aiden that well at the time. We were just getting to know each other in trial one. And I told him after the fact that they wouldn't let him talk. But if I had known him well enough, I would have said something to him. I didn't. I mean, whatever. But you know what? Aiden was like at the time, well, I get views from that audience, right? And they get views from me. No, dude, no. You were giving them the views. They don't get the views that you get. They don't get the views that you get. Hold on. Hold on. Did Howie Carr block me? That would be crazy.
I'm going to go ahead and read the one question. I don't even know if this is the worst question. This is one of the surveys.
I think they blocked me on Instagram, which is nuts. They did. You guys can go into. Things started to turn down a bad path when Howie Carr took my work on Twitter and reshared it and didn't credit me. And it was my investigative work. So you look at all of Howie Carr's Instagram stories and views and uploaded reels prior to Aiden Carney coming on and covering Karen Reed, and they're like in the hundreds. And then you get Aiden coming on and they're tens of thousands. And then the trial's done and they don't have Aiden anymore. They're right back down to the fucking bottom of the barrel shit. Listen, they fucking used him and he went on thinking, wow, Howie Carr, what a legend. Like they're good. No, dude, Aiden Carney is far bigger than Howie Carr. And Aiden Carney is at the start of his career. Howie Carr is at the end. And if Howie Carr was smart, Howie Carr would have taken on Aiden Carney, because what Aiden is now is what Howie Carr was like back when he started. Howie Carr had all sorts of fucking crazy fucking shit going on around him. Howie Carr had all of the fucking drama. Howie Carr had fucking people trying to kill him and had a hit out on him and all the shit like that. So Howie Carr was the renegade back then in the olden days, right? How soon he forgets now that he's fucking rich and he lives down in fucking Florida half the year next to Trump. He forgets where he fucking came from, and his wife looks down at Aiden Carney like he's some sort of fucking scumbag. Same way fucking Karen Reed did. When that is the man of the people, that is the man that we look to for truth. That is the man we know that is going to risk all to get you the story that you deserve to hear. He doesn't make up lies when he writes his stories. He writes the truth that nobody else sees. And everybody seems to have a fucking problem with the way that he does it. But the fun fact is you don't get to choose. When people are out there risking it all to tell the truth about nobody wants you to know about, you don't get to pick and choose how he fucking says it, packages up, and disperses it to you. You sit there and you fucking take it, you don't look and you don't touch. But for Karen Reed to fucking all of a sudden distance herself from the grunt work of the man that put it all on the line for her, and what you didn't think that there wasn't going to be any fucking reward for him? You think he's supposed to just go and make the fucking sacrifice and do all your fucking dirty work and fucking put it all out there day after day and have a target on his back for nothing? The reward is the views. The reward is the money. Damn fucking straight he should get it. Nobody does this shit for free. Howie Carr doesn't do it for free. And for Nick Rocco to go and fucking say that Aiden, oh, you fucking bored. Let me tell you something. Karen Reed walked away from $1.5 million offered to do that documentary with Aiden, and she walked away from it. She didn't even sell her first fucking, I don't know what she made from the fucking mango thing, but why didn't you do a fucking interview the day after you were acquitted for $1 million fucking dollars? Why didn't you take the money? I would go on a whore tour like you wouldn't believe. Pay me and I will show up. You can't go around and claim that you've got no fucking money if you're not going out there and fucking trying to earn it. Which is exactly how I pivoted the conversation with Aiden yesterday. Fuck Nikki haircuts and his fucking 15 fucking apartment buildings. Nobody fucking cares. You're a weirdo. You're weird. You're not Karen's spokesperson. Explain to me, sir, the goddamn studio you got in your house that says the Reed Files on it. Explain to me how you're not a sanctioned podcast if you've got a whole fucking podcast. What are you doing, dude? Which is why I called my pal and I said, you know what? Fuck that guy. Fuck these people. Go get some fucking money. And he's paying all this money for these lawsuits and all this shit like that. And you know what? He's not complaining. He's just fucking doing it. I'm very excited. I'm going to be part of my very first fundraiser ever. I have never gone on a fundraiser before, by the way, because I was never asked. Somebody kind of called me out on that and was like, why didn't you go on a Karen Reed fundraiser? Nobody ever fucking called me and asked me to be on a Karen Reed fundraiser. If they had, maybe I would have, but nobody asked me. I'm excited to go on Aiden's fundraiser. I don't have the date in front of me. It's in May. I'm not just going to come on and fucking talk about shit. I'm going to give you a fucking show. Whatever. I mean, we're going to entertain you. My biggest complaint about these fundraisers is like, what do you get for donating during you get people talking? No. You're getting it all. How long can I have, sir? How long can I have how long? Puppets? Yes. Horizon Social Chart? Yes. Oh, the Glera did ask me to go on his fundraiser for Aiden, correct? That was the one, or by the time I got on it, it was like late and there was like everybody was on it. The Glera did ask me. You're correct. And I think I was asked for Kelsey too. I scratch all that. I meant Karen. Nobody asked me to go on any fundraiser for Karen. Oh yeah, we're not going to come on the fundraiser and talk like this. No. Mm-mm. Nope. Nada. So I'm very excited to raise money for Aiden Carney. Will Charles be on the fundraiser? Maybe. But I just Nick Rocco. I take back. Maybe I have been asked for fundraisers. I was just saying, like, maybe I don't remember being asked for Karen. Leave Aiden Carney the fuck alone. Let him have a house. I saw something where somebody they were like, dear God, and it's like his kitchen in the background, right? And like all the cabinets are open. This is a man. He lives alone. I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like what's the expectation here? You know what I mean? What's everybody's problem? I don't feel bad for Karen Reed at all. Karen Reed has... Julia needs a veil. I told her to go to Carmen's. Let me know if you want me to text Madalena. I will let her know you're coming. I know. Okay, Carmen's Bridal Shop. Okay. So anyway, so there's that. Like, listen, you've got to protect Aiden at all costs. Let me just go through this for a second. Envision this. We're not manifesting it. We're just envisioning it. Aiden gets put in jail, right? And who's going to do what he does? Who's going to take the lead on these stories? Who's going to cover shit? What's going to happen in this state when Aiden Carney isn't out here putting together articles about corruption in a way that you can read them and you understand every single word that is said and has the receipts attached? Who's going to do that? Let it be clear. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. That I've seen what Aiden does and how he works. I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, you don't want Massachusetts without Aiden Carney doing what he does. You don't want to know what will happen if you don't have people like... I've actually said this to him before. He needs to move on. And I think he was so stifled by what was going on with Meredith for the past 6, 7... I mean, I'm going to say all the way from the time they broke up, but really the focus on these cases and preventing the restraining orders and preparing for them and dealing with all of this shit from her and all this stuff like that. My hope is that is past and now he can like pivot and focus on something else. I think that it has just been all consuming. And I also think that like it's demoralizing. I think it makes it very hard to focus on stories and work. And, the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial was great to have him there because it was like a reprieve. But like as soon as that was done, it was right back to dealing with this bullshit or whatever. So my hope is that with this Meredith stuff behind him, that he can like refocus. I'm desperate and thirsty for stories. I miss the click on the story and you knew it. Do you know what I mean? Just that little, like that 30 seconds, not even 30, 10 seconds, 3 seconds of frenzy when you see him you know what I'm talking about. When he posts it, right? And you see him lead in with the words and you read it really quickly and you hope there's a link at the bottom. And there's a link at the bottom and you're like, well, fuck, there's a story. And then you click on the story and then unlike other mainstream medias, the headline or the title of the story is so good. It grabs you right away. It gives you tea. It's not too professional where it's like sterile and you can't like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like he gives you like exactly what the fuck this is going to be about. Right. And then you are about to partake into a read that is going to flow in your brain like what I imagine drugs feels like, although I have never done drugs before, as you know from Bunny After Dark last week. Like you start reading it and it's like, here's this. Oh yeah, this is the same person who I wrote a story about here. Here's your hyperlink. Here's a photo. The only thing I don't love is the embedded videos are kind of like wonky because they don't always play well, whatever. But like it flows through your brain. The worst part of the story is when you get to the end, it's like support Turtle Boy because then you know it's over, right? And you walk away from that story understanding absolutely everything that was said. It's juicy, but fact-based. It's hot, and it's got all the details that you need, and you're going to regurgitate it to somebody. You can tell that story back. You remember the details. It is such a fucking gift, the way that he does it. I miss it. I want more of it. And there's enough of shit out there. Just give us anything. Forget about the whore. Move on. Get me some articles. Please. Give it to me. Inject it in my veins. Or smoke it or light it under a spoon. Whichever the way the drug goes. Let's go back and ask Jake. Jake, I need to know how this drug would be injected into my body. How would I consume this drug, Jake? I miss Jake. Jake's mad at me because he was messaging me and I didn't respond. After I finished working yesterday for like that 1 hour, it's a no work day, no phone day. Sorry. I will message you shortly. Yesterday, Julia came over and don't tell anybody this, but I, for the second consecutive week in a row, ordered my groceries and picked them up. I know this is bad. I've done it 2 weeks in a row after having never done it before. I don't even know what to think about myself, but I did the Burn Barrel podcast. Jeff went to pick up my groceries. It was a sweatpants day all around. Julia came home and we did a project. I saw it on Instagram. I bought stuff months and months and months ago, and I thought, we'll never use this. Seating arrangements. I took paper plates and we bought clothespins. And we wrote the names of all the guests on clothespins, and each paper plate is a table. And then we figured out how many people, and then how many tables of 10, 9, or 8 we had. And then we started rearranging all of the seats. And you can, like, it's so fun because, like, you say you put a cluster of people with one cluster of people, and then you're like, oh, no, we can move them over here. So then you just take the clothespin and you move it and it's stuck on the plate. And then you can, like, rearrange the plates on the table to way that the whole room looks. And it was so fun. We got into some wonky areas. So we patched in Aiden, who was away in Virginia on business. And then we had to, for the drama, we had to call TT. So TT was on the phone. And then Jack came home from work. And Jack is the biggest gossiper of all of us. Kid sat right down on the fucking table and was like, let's fucking talk tea. So we've got all the plates. We've got the things. We're sitting down and we were talking. And it was so fun. So fun. And then I made lasagna, really good lasagna, and some salad and garlic bread. And we had family dinner. We were missing Georgie because she was working. And then Julia slept over. And now today she's off and we have to get her bail. What table is Menors at? Wedding details are almost completely finalized. Everything is good. My dress is getting delivered today, so I'm so excited. I got my jewelry. I'm so excited. I've got my shoes. I have my makeup person. To the bestie who is down that said she was available to do hair, could you please text me? Again, I know you texted me, but the number is buried and I can't find it. That's the last thing. Like me, my mom, Aiden's mom, we don't really need anything fancy. It's just like a hair person to come. We have a makeup girl for us too, separate from the bridal party. All of that stuff is, I think we're done. Like almost everything is pretty much set. So I'm very excited. Yeah, we're pretty much all set. So this was like the final thing. It was the seating arrangements. I have a cousin. So my mom had a brother who passed away, and I was talking about this with the family while we were all doing this yesterday. When my mother's brother passed away, I had COVID and I was down pretty bad. And I mean, the day I found out was like my first day of being sick, and it was so bad. Or not, no, it might not have been. I wasn't sick then, but it was so bad. I did not leave my room for days. I missed the funeral. And in a weird way, because I didn't see him frequently, I almost sometimes forget he's not with us anymore because I didn't have the closure of the funeral. So that his daughter is my first cousin, and she's my only first cousin. My mom only had her brother and he only had one child. So this is my first cousin. And we grew up together. They owned a tenement house that my grandmother and grandfather lived in after they sold their Somerset home. And like whenever we'd go to my grandparents' house on the weekends, we would see my cousin Ann because she lived downstairs. So I grew up with her my whole life, every week seeing her until I moved to Pennsylvania. And then when I came back, we were older and things like that, but we kind of saw each other. But as we've gotten much older, we don't see each other as much and we don't talk as much. And I reconnected with my cousin because I had to find out if she was going, and she has to have surgery or whatever. And it's so funny because my kids were just like, you're talking to her like you talked to her yesterday. And I was like, that's just how it is with cousins. You know what I mean? Like you talk to them all the time, and it's like, it doesn't matter how much time passed. It was just like that, you know? So it was nice to like reconnect with her a little bit and hear about her kids, and made me feeling like, you know, the wedding is going to be like a family reunion of sorts, which is right what it's supposed to be. So, I'm glad that that's happening. Also I see like Julia and Aiden are much more excited about the wedding now that everything is kind of like getting to the end, you know, like we're, well, we're over a month out, but still, you know, they're getting really excited. So I'd like to see that, and everything is just kind of falling into place. So now it's like kind of get an excited time. Julia's final dress fitting, I think, is coming up. She went to the last one. It was great. And that's it. So George's dress had already come. I think that one needs to get taken in. So that's actually on the agenda this week, is to try to find someone to do an alteration on her dress. Her prom dress needs to be taken in the back a little bit, but I can sew. And so I think with her prom dress, I can do that by myself. I'm going to attempt to do it. I think I can, but prom dress is on lock for her. Very interesting situation with prom for Georgia, which I believe is like the 8th. So it's Georgia's birthday week. She's going to be turning 17 on Thursday, this Thursday. Georgia, I asked her what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do things. Thursday, she does not want to go to school. She would like me to take her to Rentham for the day to go shopping. She asked me for cash, my cash, her siblings cash, her dad cash. She just wants cash for gifts so she can go shopping. So I said, fine, we'll do that on Thursday. I had people message me about Venmoing Georgia for her birthday. On Thursday, I will put up my Jess Machado Venmo, and you guys can send if you want to. I'm not saying you have to, but to the people that have been asking, if you want to send Georgia birthday gift, you can, but we're not going to give you her direct Venmo. She's 17. I don't think we should do that. So that's the way we'll do that. And then she wants to go for hibachi with everybody on Saturday. So last week we made reservations for the whole family to go. Jack is stuck at work, so we are trying to get him out of it. But we have a big reservation for the whole family to go to hibachi because Georgia loves hibachi and that's what she wants. So that's on Saturday. And then on Sunday, she is going to aquarium in Boston with her boyfriend. Prom is the week after that, which is the following Friday, I think the 8th. We're in a little dilemma because transportation to the prom, her boyfriend wanted to drive and I was not allowing that. And so they were looking at limos. It was outrageously priced and expensive. They had a group that they were go with and split it, and then that one doing. And so I had an Uber. I'm thinks about this. I didn't even ask anybody else. I just thought of this being the option. They're going to get up here and they're going to Taunton or Lakeville. So I just went online. I asked for a female driver, Uber Black. It was pretty reasonable. It was going to cost less than what it was going to cost for the limo. And on the way home, we pick them up. They don't really care. They're coming back to our house. So to sleep here. So I wanted them to like be fancy, but also like I'm not letting them drive there. You know what I mean? I'm not letting kids. The worst thing happened ever, and I'm going to say this is definitely 10 years or 11 years ago. I don't know if anybody from Fall River remembers this. Mike Manugg ran for mayor. He was a city councilman for and died on a dirt vehicle wrong. She and the person driving the car, they were coming off of Route 24 onto 95. He took the exit where seatbelt was and extremely mad for everything. Uh, all right. For some reason, my other phone switched from 5G to 4G and it kicked me out. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me. You were unsupervised momentarily. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Yes, I don't know what on earth is going on. That phone is just like, I'm on a different phone. I'm on the old phone. So anyway, I don't know if anybody heard that, but I got an Uber Black with a female driver to take them to prom, which I'm thinking is okay, right? I mean, normally I would not send teenagers in an Uber, but it's prom, it's a female driver, and it's an Uber Black. So I think the total for me when I booked it and I prepaid it from here to there for an Uber Black, I think it was like 115, 117 or something like that. So I think that is a totally reasonable amount. And I think it's good. So I think, and I was glad to scoop it up. I mean, we did it a couple weeks ago, because I didn't listen without a solution. They were not going to let us drive them. It was going to come down to they wanted to drive and I was just not allowing it. So we scooped up the Uber Black and I'm hoping it goes well. Because I'm an Uber professional now. Most kids drive themselves to prom these days. Not happening. I just won't do it. I'm not doing it. I made Julie and Aiden get a limo too. We paid for it. I'm not doing it. Now for Jack's prom, his girlfriend was a year older than him. And honestly, she's a very responsible kid. I felt no issue with them driving. She had already graduated high school, so I was fine with it, because she was older. But anyway, we have an Uber Black for them. So prom is next week. It's just like there is no rest. Like there is no rest. We are down now. We are done with convention. Now it's on to birthday. And then from birthday, we're on to prom. And then from prom, we're on to maybe we have nothing in between there. I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm having phone issues and I don't know what they are. Why I have two phones on the same network and one went, oh, you know what the issue is? I think this phone got hot because it's in the sun on the front of my car. Is it that warm? The phone was dysfunctioning because of heat. And then we will be on to wedding. Correct. In between that, we are we've got other things going on. All right. So today's Monday. I reserve the right to determine when we will do Bunny After Dark this week. I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure. I'm feeling like 2 Bunny After Darks is acceptable this week. I'm thinking Wednesday and Friday. Right? I can already tell you Jack and Georgia are both working on Friday and we're going to dinner on Saturday. So why not? Why not too? Hello, Reagan. Hello, Quincy. Also, hold on. I took this from the convention. Jeff was so mad because you could barely, it was sitting. Hi, Quincy, what are you doing? Hello. Nobody loves the sunroom more than Quincy. Do you want to go pee-pees first and then you can come lounge? Come on. That sounds like fun. Listen, everybody was walking out with them. I wanted the, yes, of course, I see you. I wanted the one that said press, but we couldn't pick or choose because there wasn't enough room. So that was in between Jeff and I the whole ride. He was so mad. He couldn't see. You don't have to keep talking. I know you need me to let you out. Be free. All right, this is it. We're going to finish up. Let me think about the show this week and I will let you know what we're going to do. But I'm feeling 2. Let's close out the month strong. How many live streams did we do this month? Like 1,000? Hold on, I'm going to pivot over and look. I can't see it. Hold on. Let me get this. We did a lot. Let's see. How many live streams did we do this month? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Oh, no, that's wrong. Hold on, is that 38? Hold on. Oh, that's not right. Now I want to know. Hold on. Okay, so this one, Bunny After Dark, what date was this on? Okay, so Bunny After Dark was the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. This is our 36th live stream this month. How many days do we have left in the month? We have, so it's 36. That includes today. 6, 7, 36, 37, 38, 39. So we'd have at least 39 if we do Bunny After Dark. So if we do Bunny After Dark on Wednesday, that means we will have 40 live streams in the month of April. If we do a political stream, which I really would like to do, I know it's niche, that would be 41 because we would do that either today or tomorrow night.
if we don't do that, and even if we do a Bunny After Dark on Friday, that's the 1st of May. So if we do 2004 on 24 today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we do Bunny After Dark on Wednesday, that's 40 streams for the month of April. Oh, by the way, for those of you who had deep concerns about my hair situation, I refunded back to Fairy Tale Godmother the $300 she sent me, where she was insisting we were doing her hair. I did a statement about it on the show, and I said, if the Jessica from Rob Roy Academy can hear me, well, Jessica listens every day. She did. She reached out. I have an appointment at Rob Roy Academy tomorrow at 10 a.m. So we're going to do our 24 on 24 and drive straight over there, and they're going to do my hair. Rob Roy Academy is obviously like a cosmetology, hairdressing, like juggernaut in Fall River. They have great kids that are working there and instructors. Jess is one of them. She is a fan of the Jess Machado show from when we first started. And here's what sold me on it. She was like, you don't need an overall dye job. You need a touch up and a couple of highlights. And that is exactly what I would like. And I'm sure I could have said that to somebody else, but it gives students the opportunities to do it. I know she's not going to let them fuck up with my hair. And I think everybody wins. I can be frugal because it's free, and the students get to work on my hair, which is great for them. And I don't go too crazy, and I've just got some highlights. And so I'm actually really excited about that. As long as she's okay with it, I will bring the 24 on 24 into the place with us and give you a little bit of a tour. And you guys will see what goes on at Rob Roy Academy. A lot of your hairdressers and cosmetologists are there learning the tricks of the trade. And I think they do accept tips. Yes, I'll talk to Jess and see what she says. But tomorrow, Sasha Bella is saying, I hope it comes out good. This is not something I would suggest. Yeah, I'm not worried. I don't think Jess would let anything bad happen to me. And I think it's going to be subtle enough where it's totally fine. It's okay. Everybody, I understand people aren't happy. I totally get it. It's okay. It's fine. We'll be okay. We'll be fine. I never look at the chat. I can't look at the chat. There is a massive blackbird on a tree right outside my window. The bird situation is crazy right now in this hood. And I bought a bunch of bird things, and they are going to be going out this weekend. So, and I'm saying that low because yes, my husband is working from home today. Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm not looking at the chat. Moons of Miami has it absolutely right. I am ignoring the chat with everything. Okay. So that's it. I'm not going to go live anymore today, but we'll do 24 on 24 tomorrow morning. I don't know. Let's see what happens with it. I would like to do a complete dissection of the Mass GOP convention. I did not want to burden you all with that. I know that there's some things nobody's interested in at all. I didn't want to bring those up today, but I would like to talk about them. I just need a space for that. So I don't know if that's going to be tonight or tomorrow. I'll have to think about that. So if you're interested in it, just keep an eye out. Make sure you're got your notifications set up. If I do go live, I will I'll know at least a half hour or so before I do it. So I'll schedule it. But if you want to, go back for it, just put your notifications on. Second, if you could like and share this post, that is helpful. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, and you have a Facebook, share it over on Facebook. I want to kind of start getting, I think I'm going to pay for Facebook blue check mark. I've never done that before. I just recognize there are a lot of people that are over there that don't really catch everything going on. So I'm going to try to do that. The other thing too, I should mention, Jack Gately and I did some commentary together side by side, and that was so fun to be at an event, whether it was political or not, and to kind of be giving commentary and observations with another person who was equally as knowledgeable about what was going on. And it was like unexpected. You know, we were in the press box and we were like, hey, I said, you want to pop in and sit down? And we had like a great back and forth with each other. He broke the news about the Mike Manugg campaign opening the bar while there was a wait. And it was just really good. Now, I like Jack. We've had a couple of disagreements professionally. And we've worked through that, I guess, organically. You know, I didn't like his take on the Mass Daily Live situation when they got into a little tiff, right? Because I view us independent journalists as all we have. You know, it's us against them. So we should stick together. So I'm glad everybody was kind of cohesive. Also, by the way, Mike Urban was there. He was a speaker because he's not affiliated with any party, or not party, but like candidate. So he was able to speak and like not be connected to anybody. He did great. And I love to see Mike there. So it was just, listen, it was me, it was Mike Urban, it was Jack Gately, and it was Mass Daily Live rather. And the four of us, no, one, two, yeah, the four of us are really your like premier, we're the only political independent journalists out here. Aiden really could have been there. And I talked to him about that. There are many people that asked where he was. Obviously it was in Worcester. And I know he was like kind of a part of politics. He was a speaker at, I believe it was Kelly Dooner's, let's see, when she was when she was running for, state rep or senate. She's a senator from Taunton. He spoke at one of her events. Smart move on Kelly to have him come and be a speaker. I don't know exactly why he stepped away from politics or whatever, but I'm going to tell you, having somebody like Aiden there to do commentary on what's happening from like an objective perspective would have been great. And you never know. I mean, there was enough to talk about. It was a shit show. You know what I mean? So but I look at like all of us as being independent journalists, and we all have to stick together. So it was great to work with everybody, and everybody has such great camaraderie with each other. I love it. So those are my people, and I'm very proud to be a part of that. I'm the only female there. So if there's any other women out there, not that that matters, but I'm amongst the boys. So but Jack and I had some great commentary. We've got to do that again. If you know of any type of event that's big that you think that I should be at and doing commentary on or observations, please let me know. Sometimes I'm like kind of like in a hole here and I don't see like outside things. So send it my way. Any suggestion would be good. But, you know, for us to go live and to do commentary, that's something I would like to do. Okay, we're gonna finish this up and then we will see you tomorrow, I believe. I think. I don't know. Let's see how we're doing later on today for the political thing, but keep an eye out and put your observations on. How's my boy Jimmy doing? I haven't talked to him. I know he's moving. I saw his apartment. um, oh, before we end, Jess Walsh coordinated the second day of things moving for Casey. She is completely into her new apartment. And so we have to give a shout out to Jess for coordinating these people to go down and help Casey get into her new apartment. I spoke with Casey last night. She's a little disappointed. The new apartment has some issues. It's not that great. Jess texted me and she was like, my person's looking for another apartment for her because Jess wasn't satisfied with the new apartment. But what matters is she made the deadline. Her deadline was yesterday to be out of the other apartment. She is out of it. She's in the new apartment. I have said that I was kind of going to be hands off on things and that I was going to stay away. On Friday, they had a dangerousness hearing for the boyfriend. He is being held. So he is not coming back. From what I am gathering, he is going to be held to finish the balance of his sentence that had been suspended while he was on probation. Unfortunately, that means he'll probably be gone for 2 years. I say unfortunately because I know that this is a very sad situation for Casey. You know, everything was going great. They were having a baby. He was sober. She's been sober for years now. Everything was good. And he is now not going to be here. And she's very upset about that. I think she's mourning the loss of what she thought things were going to be like. And that's a very sad situation for her. I get a little pushback from some people. I read some messages that people are sending telling me to, I've done enough and stay out of it. And I've shared the story many times, but I was also dealing with a very similar situation 20 years ago. I was pregnant, Jason was in jail, and I was alone. And, I had family, but they weren't all real a part of this whole situation. And I also had to move from one apartment to the other. And so I feel like God put me in this place for a reason. I am not judgmental. I've been through it before, and I'm 21 years past that point in my life. It's a distant memory, but it built me to where I am today. And I try to tell Casey that one day she will look back and this is going to be a very distant memory for her, and she will get through it and her life will be different, and it's there, and it'll be different even sooner than that. But I just feel like, what are the chances that I met this girl, 3 years ago or 2.5 years ago, and now here we are 2.5 years later, and she's in a similar situation that I was in when I was her age. You know what I mean? And she has nobody. And, I saw her post about something on Facebook, and, an old friend was like, why aren't you having your mother and your brother come and help you? Well, her mother and her brother are very toxic and they use drugs, and she's sober. And that is the worst possible thing that could happen, is for her to reconnect with family that could compromise her sobriety. And I'm also aware she doesn't have friends here. She doesn't have family here. And this guy was all of that for her. And now he's gone. And so, you know, this is why I told the story. This is why I asked people to help. Jess stepped up. The people that she sent down stepped up. They helped. They moved her. Fine. The next step is now has an apartment full of things and a broken leg and can't do it. On Wednesday, after I drop Georgia off from school, I am going to go to the new apartment. I am looking for a couple of women to come with me who would like to help me unbox and set up her kitchen, set up the boys' room, and kind of get things organized for a couple of hours. She can do things a little bit here and there, but I'm thinking I want to give her a little bit of a chunk of a head start. So on Wednesday, I'm going to drop Georgia off at school at 7:30. I'm going to head over in Fall River. So let me put my phone number on the screen. If you are interested in joining me, I don't want a huge team, but I know that there are some women that have some free time. If you come with me, we'll go together, and we will this is a no judgment zone. This is a place where we're going to help. We are not doing anything other than coming and being kind, letting her, when you meet her, you'll understand her sitting on a couch watching other people do stuff for her is problematic mentally. It's just not how she is. I want her to feel comfortable, and I would like for her to be able to have some sort of organization. I'm not talking like organizing her closet and her clothes. She can do that by herself. I'm talking putting her dishes in cabinets. I'm talking about getting the boys' rooms set up and moving some things around and just having her functional. A lot of her stuff is literally in trash bags because she had no other way to get it moved. So we're just going to give her a little bit of help for a couple of hours. So from, let's say, like 8:30, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, 4 hours. If we have a couple people that want to help me, you can text me, and we will go there, get it done, and give her some help. Okay? That's that. Thank you. Oh, Jess is in the chat. Jess has just been amazing, and some positive vibes. I don't want to give her a false sense of hope or commitment that, we've got people that are going to help her every day and things like that. But, because I can't commit to that, but we can help a little bit. Another situation, which I'm going to put it out here and I just don't know. She is going to be in a situation when she has this baby, she'll be alone in the hospital. I've been talking this over with my family, and if this is something that I want to do, and I don't know the answer to that, and I am going to pray about that, and I am going to see. I'm not sure that kind of a connection or that type of an intimate thing is the right place for me. I have to think about it. With that being said, if anybody knows any type of like a birth coach, doula, somebody that has experience with being in a hospital room, who has the time and space to give, that would like to connect with her and be there with her. I don't know if it's something she's open to. She has mentioned to me that she is very concerned about being alone during the birth of her baby. And so I'm just thinking about that. You never know. There might be somebody listening to this who says, I've worked with women in shelters before, I've done this before, or somebody who is like, I have nobody, I'm free. I could be that person. I can't vet people here, so don't be a weirdo. Do you know what I mean? But if I don't know, how about childcare for when our babies are in the hospital? I think that's going to be an issue too. I will share a story I've never shared before. That sounds hard to believe because I tell many stories. Many, many, many years ago, when I had Georgia. I don't know if anybody heard this story, but Jason lost his job. He got fired like 2 weeks before I had Georgia, and it was devastating. Par for the course with Jason, right? Gets fired, doesn't tell me gets fired. So we navigate through, he collects unemployment, and I'm very stressed out. We're going through, a whole situation where I'm having a baby, obviously April 30th, and whatever. Jason gets all his vacation and stuff from the company that fired him. So he gets a kind of like a check, and that gets us through. He gets unemployment, and now he's got like this income coming in, right? But keep in mind, we were living on one income. So because I was a stay-at-home mom. And I just kept saying, you know what? Fine. Maybe it's a blessing you're home for the summer while I've now got 3 children and until I get my bearings or whatever. Well, come the fall, I had told him he needed to get a job and he hadn't gotten a job. And I was very stressed out. So I went and I regret that I even had to do these things, but I went and got a job part-time working at Citizens for Citizens in Fall River as a preschool teacher. And I only worked half days because I was still nursing Georgia. So I would nurse Georgia in the morning. I would go work at CFC in Fall River, and then I would come home at lunch, and then so I could nurse the baby. It was a little bit of money and whatever. While I was there, it was a very shell-shocking situation for me because many of the children that were in the program, the preschool program, were poverty-stricken and poor. And I remember they had like a table in the middle of like the entryway where people could bring coats and stuff for the kids because now it's the fall, right? And it's getting to be the winter. And there were kids that were coming in and like these kids didn't have coats. And it was just like I couldn't handle it. So I went to Walmart and I bought, with my fucking paycheck from there, I went and bought like, and listen, this is 17 years ago. I think the coats were like $10 each, like, like the bare minimum winter coat and hats and gloves. And I brought them all in and I put them on the table. And I got called into the office, and the lady who was running the program, she was like, we really prefer that you don't do that. And I was like, why? And she's like, it's just not the right message that, we have an employee here that's buying stuff. And I said, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And I actually still didn't get it. It was like apparently just not the right thing to do for me to spend my own money to buy coats and things like that. And so it was just whatever. So then the second thing that happened was there was a girl there and a little girl, and they just were really, really poor. And, I would see the mother come and she looked like she was trying really hard. And it was just really, really sad. And they ended up having to move out of their apartment into another apartment. And she left the program. And I wrongfully made the decision to keep in touch with the mother. And I said, here's my number. Let's stay in touch. I was always just connected to the little girl. Her name was Jennifer, and she was just such a sweetheart. And so, sure enough, a week or so later, she called me and she needed a ride to go get some food. She had food stamps cards. She needed a ride. So I said, sure. So I picked her up, and I brought her to a store, and then I dropped her off and I got to see the little girl, and that was fine. Then she called me again. And she was like, I could use a ride to the grocery store. I don't have enough money. And I was like, why don't you just tell me what you need? I'll pick it up. So I picked up groceries. I went to drop them off. When I got to the house, this kid had nothing. She had a mattress on the floor. I was so devastated. I was so upset by it. Of course, what I do, I went and bought a fucking ton of shit. I brought it to the fucking kid, brought it to the house or whatever. And then the next thing that happened, I don't remember like the timeline, but the next thing that happened is she was going for a job interview and she had nobody to watch Jennifer. And I said, fine. So I picked up Jennifer and I brought her to my house and I let her play outside in the yard. And I had little kids, and I was like, I'm getting too close and this should not happen anymore. And I never talked to them again. I couldn't tell if they were taking advantage of me. I was starting to like get connected to the child. I thought that I was doing the right thing and helping them, but then I thought that she was becoming dependent on me. I couldn't make that commitment. I had 3 small kids. Jason was out of work, and I was like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? And so I like just cut off all communication with them. I mean, I think I told her, I was like, I've got a lot going on. I can't, whatever. I've looked for this kid for years. I know her name. I can't find her. I don't know what happened to her. It like haunts me. But I have like this weird thing about like getting connected and helping and like it just not being the right thing. And so I'm very apprehensive about like doing anything beyond what we're doing right now. It's very easy for me to like rally the troops. It's very easy for me to like, we'll put a wish list together and she'll get all the things. But like once we go past that, I'm very apprehensive about it. I'm worried. I'm not saying she would take advantage, but like I can't, for my own reasons, I feel like I can't do it. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I don't know. Because it will come to a point where I cannot help anymore. And then I'm in a weird situation and I just don't know. I guess the better thing I can do is put the word out there and maybe she can connect with the right people. And that's the best. I don't know. But we're right at that threshold right now. You know what I mean? Like Wednesday is, I'm okay. Like, let's go and set up a house. No big deal. Going to the hospital? I don't think so. I don't think so. So I don't know. I'm not sure. So this situation with Casey has been difficult for me because I want to help. I'm limited on what I want to help with, but I also see the other back end of it where she does not have anybody, God forbid, like I don't help and something happens, she reconnects with family, she relapses, she loses her kids. I will never be able to forgive myself for that. So I don't know. So in a way, like not knowing what happened with that kid and her family, it's almost been better because I'm not sure I even want to know what happened. You know what I mean? I'd like to hope and think that she is thriving all these years later and she's doing well. She would be Jack's age right now. So that's my hope. But it's tricky. And it's causing me a lot of stress. And she's so wonderful and she's very like conscientious of not adding stress and she's sorry but when I'm getting told like I'm the only person, that's hard for me to hear because I'm so worried. So it looks as if Aiden is just going live right now with his, am I correct? Or was that a notification for, yeah, Bus Stop Live is going now. So how about we disconnect so you can all hop over to him, do a little bunny raid and go say hi to Aiden. And this is a good note to end on. If you sent me a text message, I'll get to my other phone. We'll take a look at it right now. All right, bunnies, have a great day. See you in Aiden's chat. Bye. I'm going to skip the song too so we can go over.
It's all your favorite Jess Machado's